We're live now. So, hi everybody. So, I'm sorry for the delay. I, by accident, went on live on our Paranormal Brew page unknowingly. And then I realized, I'm like, something doesn't seem right. And then realized, we went live in the wrong place. So now here we are. Anyways, we are blessed tonight to have Sharon, who owns Rolling Hills Asylum in East Bethany, New York. I have had the pleasure of investigating there many years ago, but it was probably one of the most active places that I have been to date. Even had a man laugh at me, and I could feel the breath on my cheek. So, wow. Yeah, it was amazing. So those will come up later. So everybody that's watching, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Rolling Hills Asylum in New York, but Sharon, just start from the beginning, how you were able to acquire such a magnificent piece of property, first of all, and up until now. I mean, it's probably to date one of the best places one of my most favorite places I've ever investigated.
Oh, thank you. Well, thanks for having me on, Sharon and Anthony. It's kind of interesting in a way because this is 2020 is my 10-year anniversary of owning the property, and there's kind of like a 10-year, what I call a 10-year curse on it. And come October, I've made it 11 years, so I'm breaking the curse, thank God. But yeah, I bought it. Oh my God, I've been sweating it out. Most of the other owners either died or whatever. So, anyways, oh, thank God. But I bought the property in 2010. It was just kind of weird because I'd come out here in 2008 from California on a ghost hunt with Darkness Radio, the Dave Schrader, all those old events. And it was 3 incredible nights of activity, full body apparitions, all kinds of crazy stuff. Back to California where I had public teams and private teams and all kinds of stuff going on, a meetup group. And it was super busy out there, but clicked this off my bucket list. But I kept coming back to my evidence because it was like, oh my God, this place is so active and there was so much great stuff that happened. And, it was always in the back of my mind. And in the spring of 2009, I got a phone call. The place was closing down from someone back here that lived back here. And they were really worried that it was going to get torn down or burnt down or something like that, or just demolished, or they didn't even know what was going to happen to it. And I kind of had a meltdown on the phone and ended up coming out to look at it in the spring of 2010 with a friend of mine to get a lay of the land, see what it looked like during the day. And it was really a disaster because when you're at, a lot of times if you go to celebrity events, you only go to certain places during the event. You don't get to necessarily roam through the whole thing. And that's what happened when I had been out here the year before. So when you come out during the day to look at it, when you're buying a property, you look at everything and you realize, oh crap, this is just a bad idea. So I went home, but somehow convinced my husband to come back and look at it the following month. And he pulls in the yard with me and goes, you're out of your goddamn mind. We're not doing that. It's just a disaster. So I just couldn't let go of buying this property. For some reason, it just grabbed a hold of me. And I found out it was going out for auction the day before my birthday in October, and I flew out. And I was the only one who showed up, and the bank was really wanting a lot of money for it because the other owners had gone bankrupt, so they kept outbidding me. The bank was bidding against me. And finally, I'm like, I don't have any more money, and I left. And they realized, oh crap, playing poker with her didn't work so well. And they called me and they worked out a very high interest rate for about 5 years before I could refinance it. And I bought it. I bought it the day before my birthday in 2010. 2009, moved out there in 2010. So I don't hear you. No sound.
I said, what an awesome birthday present.
Yeah, the most expensive one in the world, though, It's like the money.
Yeah, no, that Rolling Hills by far is probably one. I can't. I mean, I have audio of little kids singing "London Bridge is Falling Down."
You can hear down the laundry room with little Jack. Absolutely.
Yeah. I sit here as a paranormal investigator, and I'm like, oh my God, I would love to have a place. I would love to have a place like that, or I would love to be able to have somewhere that's, supposedly, and like open it up to fellow investigators and have them come. I mean, like, I'm sure it's a lot of work. I'm sure it's a lot
ton of more than what anyone ever could imagine. And unfortunately, I don't have a spouse. I don't have any family. It's me. And so then I'm dependent on volunteers and other people to help me, but it's all on me. It's all the bills, all the maintenance, all the admin stuff, building the website, the ticketing sites, the advertising, the logos everything is me. And people don't understand. I mean, it's all consuming. It's like you don't get away from it ever. And I'm not complaining. I mean, I chose this. I chose this clearly. And if I didn't want it, I could slap a for sale sign on it any day of the week, and I don't want to do that. I'm just saying it's really not what people think, especially being a woman. And I'm not trying to play the woman card, but it's really hard. I mean, there's some things I physically can't do. I just don't physically have the body strength to do certain things. So I need to rent a husband. I only want him during the day for blood, sweat, and tears. That's it. I don't want him any other time. But yeah.
What about a wife?
Well, then we're on still having the problems of doing some manual stuff that we not necessarily can handle. But yeah, sure, I'll take help.
Well, I've always told
You're so far away.
I know. Do you have Tony? Is yours on? I'm hearing myself.
Oh wait, let me see. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm like 6.5, 7 hours away, but I would come up at least for, you know what I mean? Like a long weekend and help.
Spring, once COVID goes away, oh my God, or at least settles back down.
Somebody asked a question. Megan says, oh no, well, here's the question. How do you stop people from going there?
How do I stop people from going there? Guess you haven't heard my reputation as being a bitch. I have a lot of cameras up, some that you can see, some that you can't see. And thank God for the support of the local judge. It's like a real small town judge. In the first few years with all the trespassers, he really has done a number on people. He doesn't take any prisoners. Basically, if you get caught even just trespassing, forget about anything else. Even if you're in the car and you're the getaway driver and you're not literally physically on the property, you all get a minimum of $500 fine. You get community service for a year. You get a restraining order, and this is across the board. And he's really tough. So I think that, and with all the cameras and everything, that's pretty much it. And I'm a crazy woman. I have a shotgun. I'll come out at you. I won't point it at you, but I'll come out and protect my property.
That's true. Yes, I'm glad I'm on your good side. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I mean, forget that I live here. It's my home, and it is private property. We're open for tours by appointment. Basically, it's not a public property like Walmart. So they have to just remember that.
Right. Yeah,
I'm just a crazy woman.
Huh?
So I'm just a crazy woman.
Dude, I think, and your house is literally, it's like, what, 100 feet, if that, right? Is it your house right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at the back door of the building. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's right there. I mean, somebody else was saying, wait, really quick, Megan says, rent a boyfriend, not a husband. Easier maintenance.
I don't want them for anything except for manual labor. I don't want anything else. I've been down that road. I'm done with that. No offense, Anthony. I'm done there. Yeah, now I'm done.
So I think, and then this is the same person that said something about how do you stop people from getting in there? She said, I would be afraid of people going in there and hurting themselves. But I don't think she realizes, like, first of all, Rolling Hills, I mean, you do have to pass certain codes in order to let people go in a place. You know what I mean?
We're a legal business. We are a legal business. I pay taxes on the business. I'm an LLC. I mean, we're a legal business. People think it's abandoned. It's not abandoned. Abandoned is a bad word. It's closed down. It's not open as a county-run facility anymore like it was. It's privately owned and it's a business. So it's not abandoned. And I live here. It's totally not abandoned. You know,
Right.
we have to maintain it and yeah, I mean, it's maintained and we follow all sorts of rules and regulations like a regular business.
Yeah. Megan asks, is there any activity in the house on the property?
I bind the house, otherwise I wouldn't get any rest. The first night I moved in here, I had been living off property for about a month until I could even get into the house back in 2010. And I was living downstairs in my living room for like literally 8 years. It was hell on earth and it was just awful. But the very first night I was living here, the upstairs was all closed off, all the doors were closed, and I just shut off the lights and I'm hearing footsteps, I'm hearing doors opening and closing, and I'm like, hell no, that's not gonna fly, you know, because you need a buffer zone. You really do need a buffer zone. And, you know, after 10 years of time, of course, these spirits are like my family. We have a huge understanding and they don't bother me in the house. They don't do anything in the house. It's really funny though. I'll walk from the building at night after a hunt, which is like 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning, whatever time it is. And I'll feel them. They're walking with me and they leave me at the front door and they leave. They walk me to my door. It's really cool.
Well, you know what? I mean, you have such a high respect for the spirit energy that is in the asylum. That I think that they see you take care of the place, you take care of them, so therefore, in return, they take care of you. You know,
I think
I mean,
that's true. I really do. I've been very lucky with them. There are some things that have happened that are just phenomenal. I can remember first couple of winters. Winter is always a horrible time anyways because it's so bloody cold in Western New York. And the building is a good 20, 30 degrees colder than outside on many occasions. And so I can remember going through the building and like, it'd be like January. I'm like, please bring me some business, you know, and I'm going to pay my bills kind of stuff. And I remember coming in and there was like a private hunt or something. And then I hadn't been in for a day or two. And I'm always the last person out. So I always do a walkthrough and everything else. And so the next time I came in was a small public hunt. And I came down the stairs to go into the morgue, as I always start going into the morgue first on my tours. And I stopped dead because I'm looking on the morgue table and it wasn't there 3 days ago. There were like 5 or 6 coins, all from the 1800s and early 1930s, silver dollars. They left me money.
oh wow.
And they've done that before. I remember going down the hallway one time in Shadow Hallway, and I'd been like, again, like, oh my God, I hope you guys can help me. I don't know what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. And I walk out and down to Shadow Hallway, and sitting in the middle of the hall and the floor is an envelope with a bunch of dimes, nickels, and pennies. Like, it's just bizarre stuff like that. They just bring me money. They don't bring me like a lottery ticket, but I mean, they try.
Right? You say, how about leaving the lottery numbers somewhere in, you know, just, you know, write them into some dust or some, you know what I mean? Somewhere where I can find them.
A million times. Doesn't work, but you know what they have done for me? Back like the first 3 years when I was getting all the problems with the trespassers, we got a break-in and the cops came out and they took a report. But right after the break-in that night, my friends Julie and Veronica and I, we sat in the first floor in the tea room and we did a spirit box session. They gave me a make, the model, the color of the car, and a partial license plate, and I gave it to the police. And damn it, don't you know they caught them off of that?
That's awesome.
I swear to God, it was crazy. The state police, she came out, was a woman trooper, and she goes, "You're not going to believe what happened, Sharon." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "We caught them based on what you told me." That's crazy.
That is crazy. And that's good that the police are, I mean, I love that they like really help you out, you know what I mean? And they really, you know what I mean? Like they're there for you, you know, because that is a big property, you know what I mean? And you know, and just being there, you know, and all the different types of people. I mean, so there was somebody asking Dominic, he's from Canada.
Hello.
You know, what's the process to get an investigation at Rolling Hills? Like, is there a limited amount of people you want? Is there a maximum amount of people? Like
Do you want
how?
to talk about the time COVID or the time normal? That's, you know what I mean? There's different. Right now, he can't come because he's from Canada. It's not even an option for him. He can't come over the border.
Right.
So, in general, everything is on the website under rollinghillsasylum.com under Get Started. It tells you about the public hunts and the private hunts, and the pricings for that and what the limitations are for numbers for private hunts versus public hunts. But everything is right there.
So,
but again, I'm sorry, Dominic. Governor Cuomo's kind of a shit. So sorry, I shouldn't say that.
I think Murphy is probably worse. I mean, I think they're really close, but Murphy's a little worse. Just saying.
Yeah.
Everybody else that's been there is saying how great it is there. Just so you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're saying it's a great location, which it really is. Now, you probably are used to everything, but I'm just going to say, what is the biggest, or what is I don't even know what word to describe it, but what would you say would be the most, your favorite experience you've had with the energy there? I mean, I know that's such a vague, I don't know what else to call it.
My favorite experience is not scary. I'm gonna tell. I have a scary experience, but my favorite experience is a cool experience. It was a few Halloweens ago, a few Octobers ago, and my volunteers and I, we had done the tour, blah blah blah. We're all hanging out in the green room. It's like where the gift shop is, and we're just BSing, and people are out investigating, having a great time. And all of a sudden, no joke, Roy walks in the room and he says my name out loud. We all spin around and it was completely Roy. Huge, deep voice. He was like, Sharon. And we all just went, oh my God. He just came in to get me. It was just the coolest thing in the world. I mean, stuff like that is just completely awesome.
Yeah,
the scariest thing in the world is when I saw a snake in the building. Forget that.
You sound like my boyfriend. He would be afraid of the snake. He'd be like, there's snakes there. I'm not going.
That was the first one I've ever seen, in a million years. I never get them. It was just so bizarre. It was probably a time we were cleaning out the building and we left the door open while we were cleaning. Doesn't ever happen. But a scary thing? You want to hear a scary thing for me or a scary thing for somebody else? Because that's probably more scary.
For somebody else?
Yeah, because for me, nothing bothers me in that building. I mean, there are things I'd take oh, wow, that's cool, but I don't usually get too scared. Scary thing for somebody. People don't like going up to Nurse Emma's room or that, not Nurse Emma specifically, but the admin. They always get a really bad feeling up there from Steve. There's a spirit up there. He doesn't, no offense, I don't know if you've had experience with him, Taryn, but he doesn't like people in the medical field or people in military or law enforcement. You got a double whammy there with your family. But He'll make you sick. He'll give you a feeling of dread. The morgue, I love the morgue, but people lay on the morgue table and they sometimes have really bad reactions. They'll get the feeling like their innards are being scrambled, like they're getting an autopsy.
Oh, wow.
Or you're getting in your chest. Yeah, there was one guy that came through on a private team not too long ago, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a medium, and oh, I'm this, and oh, I'm that, and I'm a big brave guy." He laid on the morgue table, and he had to almost be carried out of the building to get fresh air, and so they kind of knocked him down a peg or two. The vortex room, people hate the vortex room off a shadow hallway. I have people that won't even walk in it. They come down the hallway and they just will not go in that room. One of my dear friends who's been with me for 10 years now, he's 6'3", 300 pounds, and he will not go in that room. It's so funny on tours because he'll send everyone in the room and they'll stand out in the hallway and he goes, "You just went into a room that I won't go in." And everyone's all freaking out. So I don't know. It's just weird stuff that happens.
So there was somebody there this past weekend, and this is what he said. I wasn't
up there. I had someone right on the hunt, so I'll listen. This will all be new to me.
Yeah, he said he was choked in the kitchen. That was very eye-opening.
That's surprising because they're not violent. They're not really violent spirits, so that's surprising that would have happened. I'm sorry that happened to him.
Yeah.
Maybe was he antagonizing? I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read
I'll read it.
writing. So, what were they antagonizing or something? Because that's really unusual that would happen.
I mean, maybe it felt like choking, and maybe it was just, because there are times where.
Think about this for a second. He's in the kitchen. Maybe they were giving a feeling of choking because someone was choking on food in the kitchen. He was picking up on food. Think about your environment. Think about where you are. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
That makes total
beer. That makes sense to me, for sure.
Yeah. He was picking up on someone probably choking. We have people that smell vomit in the kitchen, and that's because we know there were times when they had food poisoning there, and they're smelling the people getting sick.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. And somebody saying hi from Minnesota. There was somebody earlier from Alabama that said hi.
Hi, everybody.
Sorry, Tim. He said that was in 2018 when he was there.
Hi, Tim. Sorry. Yeah, that's interesting. But Tim, I didn't know that happened to you. I bet you it was probably because someone was choking in the kitchen and you were being empathic and picking up on that.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think they'd be doing this to you, but you might feel the choking feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I mean, there's been, times where I've gone into locations and, I feel like burning or, something, you feel something physical, but it's just your way of picking up the energy. You know what I mean? Or like, So he asked, did anybody get any activity in the master bedroom?
Master bedroom?
Yeah.
I don't know where they mean. There is only a master bedroom. Are you talking about George Fleming's room? He was the superintendent. There's not like a master bedroom. There's not like a house, so I don't know what to say about that.
Chris, there's a guy named Chris. He's writing. I don't know if he was there this past weekend. Somebody had written and said we were just there this past weekend and it was amazing. Had a lot of activity. He said we got a lot of activity in the middle bedroom and the barn.
The barn? No one's allowed in any barn. I don't know if they were in the barn.
Okay, never mind. So you have opened up. I know that. So what? Well known. I hate to use the word paracelebs because that's just it's so. I just don't like using that word. But
how about well known?
Yes, well known. So who has been through your your establishment, should I say?
The Booth brothers, Brian Cano, Chip Coffey, Barry Fitzgerald, Rob Demarest, the Wraith Chasers, Stephen Tango, Chris Williams, Joe Chin. I know I'm missing people. There's like anybody and everybody's been through here. I mean, really, almost anybody and everybody. We have some new things coming up that I can't say. We're going to be on probably 2 or 3 shows coming up this season. So you can imagine some of the newer people coming up that I can't really say. But yeah, so that's awesome. You name it. It's been everybody. It's been a lot of people. So Scotty Roberts, it's been Dave Schrader, Gary Gelka, of course, Zach and those guys. So it's been Zach, Nick, and everybody. Yeah, it's been a
Gary Golka, how is he? Is he cool?
Oh, I love Gary. Yeah, Gary, I haven't seen him in quite a few years, but he's such a sweetheart. He really is. He's such a great man.
Yeah. So when I was there, I don't even know what year it was. And
it was one of the Parafests, so I think it's probably around 2012, 13, somewhere around.
It had to be around there. Yeah, it was definitely yeah. And quite a bit of people there. And, you always think when you're getting involved in something big like that, you're gonna miss anything that's going on around you. You know, like when you have like these big, huge events and this and that, you think like the activity isn't going to be. You're really not gonna get to experience anything. You know. Nope, not there. Not at Rolling Hills. You were doing our walkthrough, and in my group there was probably about 25 people, and you're doing the walkthrough, and all of a sudden, from behind us, down one of the halls, I can't remember. I want now. I can't remember the layout of the place, so forgive me, but I feel like we walked down. As you go down the hallway, it was just this one room, like a bigger room, and everybody was kind of like filling into the room. And all of a sudden, we hear this psych scream, right? And I'm looking at the people, and I'm looking at nobody else reacted except for two other people, and it was a person that had paid, like a patron, and then somebody in my group. And I'm like, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" And then we just go flying down the hallway. And we're like, there's nobody else anywhere. You can tell the difference between somebody playing around and screaming than when it was something like that. I will never forget. And that was during the day, like as we were first walking around. I was like, oh, it's going to be a good night. I was like, this is going to be awesome. And
the screaming lady, there's no rhyme or reason to her. And she just screams, and it's very loud. And exactly what happens, like you said. It's really funny. I'll never forget this other time with the screaming lady. I was bringing two guys down to the bathroom who'd been to the building many times, and they were military. And so we were going down from like the intake room, headed down the east wing to go to the bathroom. And right where the stairs are to go down to the morgue, we're right there. And all of a sudden we heard bloody screaming. And it almost sounded like someone had like fallen and hurt themselves or something. I don't even know. And I stopped, and the guys behind me stopped. And before I could run down the stairs, the military guys are running down the stairs because it sounded like it came down by the morgue. We get right down the bottom of the stairs. There's like 5 or 6 people, and they're just investigating. They're blah, blah, blah. And we're like, didn't you hear that? Did you fall? Did something happen? They go, what are you talking about? Didn't hear a thing. Crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Well, nobody else that was in our group heard that scream. There was only 3 of us that heard it.
And then sometimes you don't hear it, you get on the recording, you get home and you hear this bloody ass screaming. Yeah. It's weird. It's very strange.
Yeah, and that was like the first time I had ever heard anything like that, you know? And then yeah. And now my friend Megan, she's bringing up, she said Nurse Emma's room. She's saying, I always get something in Nurse Emma's room. There is also another area on the 3rd floor where a group of 10 to 12 of us heard a male answer no when we asked if he wanted to come in the room. There was all females except one guy in our group who was silent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It might be Steve. He's up there and he's kind of ornery, and yeah, it might be Steve.
So, yeah, upstairs, we were upstairs, and I believe I was in, because wasn't she, Emma, was she a teacher too or something? Was there a teacher or something?
She's a nurse.
Was there someone, I can't remember, because I feel like I reached out to you after when I listened to my EVPs, because was there somebody from like out of the country that was there? Somebody that was like
She's German. She's from Germany. But we had a lot of immigrants, really, because it was a time when there were a lot of immigrants in the country. So we have a lot of people from Poland and Ireland and Scotland, and you know, we have a lot of immigrants that come through the building, spirits. So, but yeah, Emma's from Germany.
How old is the building?
The building itself is in different timelines. The property opened up in 1827. So there's a couple of barns in my house are from the original property of 1827. The dorms and a lot of the other barns either burnt down or were torn down over the course of time. The main building that people see from the corner that everyone knows is Rolling Hills, that was built in 1938 as the Genesee County Infirmary, the hospital for the area. And then one of the men's dorms burned down in 56. So the long east wing, the newer building was built in 58. So there's 3 timelines on the property as far as when the buildings were all built.
And then when did it, and it was an asylum, so it housed
No,
just,
not technically. Not
okay,
technically. Technically, it opened up as a poorhouse in 1827. So it housed everyone from widows and orphans and drunkards to mentally and physically disabled people, everybody. And then 1938 it was a hospital. So again, it housed all types of people from all different physical and mental ailments. And then in 64 to 74 it became a nursing home. So it housed elderly people that had health issues. And then it closed down in 1974. So asylum came about because the previous owners had named it Rolling Hills Insane Asylum, and I thought the insane was derogatory and not accurate at all. So I got rid of that. I kept asylum because asylum by definition is safe haven, like political asylum. So it was a safe haven throughout the whole lifetime of the property.
so it is the TB room, right? The tuberculosis room, is that on the same floor where is that the shadow floor where
No, that's the floor below it.
Right.
It's the first floor where Roy is, the classroom,
the classroom?
room. Yeah, so that's the floor that's on.
So that is where, so I was in this, I don't know if it was the classroom. I'm getting, because there's a room that was set up off. So if you're walking this way, it's on the left, and it had a bunch of kids' toys and stuff in it. And then there was a room across the hall that was more storage. Like I think you had a bunch of chairs in there and stuff like that at the time.
You're upstairs.
Okay.
You're upstairs. The room with all the chairs and the desks, that's up in Shadow Hallway.
That is Shadow Hallway. Okay.
Yeah, it's confusing when you're not there.
We're not there a lot, I know. So I'm in the room where all the toys, where the toys are. And I keep hearing this little banging around in the room where the chairs are across the hallway. And me and somebody that had paid to, join us or whatever, I was like, let's just go check it out. Let's go see what it is, because it just didn't seem like anything normal, So we get up, we go over, we're standing outside the door. Now we really couldn't go in there because of, the chairs and stuff. And we're just standing there. And I'm like, you hear that? And she's like, yeah, do you hear that? I'm like, yeah. And all of a sudden, my hand to God, I put it on the Bible. I tell this story to this day. Literally, it was like, like this goofy laugh, but it was so close I could feel the breath on my face. And we both looked at each other, and she's like, you don't have to ask. Yes, I heard that. I was like, okay, I'll check it. And I was like, because he's right there. So he was like playing with us. I thought it was cute. I didn't have a bed. It wasn't a bad thing. He was like, yeah, because that's, yeah, that was another first for me. Like I definitely experienced so much at Rolling Hills. Like it was just amazing.
It's constant. It really is constant. It's funny you should mention about the breath and everything in Shadow, because a couple of weeks ago when Yvette Nichols is helping me out, she's one of my volunteers. She's been awesome since I've been off my feet. But anyway, so she did a hunt a couple weeks ago up there, and she was helping people investigate. So she was up in Shadow Hallway, excuse me, and sitting in the wheelchair, and everyone else was down the hallway, and they were looking for shadows to see if she got pushed in the wheelchair and everything else. Yvette has bangs. And she said something came right up in front of her and blew the bangs off her face. She could feel it, and the bangs went like this. So They went up and blew in her face. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, it was. And then after that, like I know, and I'm probably getting it all confused, but the TB room for me, I went in there, and there's something about tuberculosis rooms and floors. I don't know what it is, and I can't explain the feeling I get when I go in them. They're just, it's not like a bad feeling, but it's not a good feeling either. It's almost like, I don't know. So we're standing in the hallway, and we just start seeing like we see somebody like pacing. Like we just see the shadow under the doors to go to that room. you know?
No, you're talking about Jack's. You're talking about Shadow Hallway and Jack's Solarium. We were where we keep the doors closed,
Yes.
and he would pay. He does. He pays us back and forth behind the door.
Oh,
That's
cool.
why we leave the light on. Yeah, we leave a blue light on just to make a little glow because there are windows in the doors. So when you stand back, you'll see his feet shuffling, and sometimes he'll block out one of the windows because he's looking out the window at you, and the light will go away. And it's amazing. I'm going to see if I can pull up a picture. I don't know if it will show up online. Give me 2 seconds because it's crazy. I'll sit down here at my house and I'll take pictures up at the solarium where Jack is. No one's there. The building is closed. Hopefully you guys can see this. I don't know if you can see this. Tell me if you can. Wait a minute. Which way am I going? Can you see any of that, or is it all glaring? Is it glaring?
You know what? If you can message it to me, and I'll post it on the Brews page.
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to you right now. It's crazy. I'm sitting down on my back deck. I'm taking pictures up at the building, and there's like 20 people up in the solarium. The building's closed. No one's there. I locked up. I walked out, and they're having a freaking party up there. It's craziness.
Wow. That's awesome.
So that's what I always tell people too. You know, when you go through the building, and sometimes people, I love the shows. They've been very good to me, but they're sometimes not helpful to the people that don't investigate on a regular basis because they expect to go into a building and have this happen and that happen and to be touched and see the girl from the Ring standing in front of you and, you know, getting slapped in the face. You know, all within 25 seconds, you know, it doesn't happen. How many times have we sat somewhere in any location for an hour or two before something happens or nothing happens, but then you get home and you hear everything on the recorder or whatever. Anyways, I don't even know where I was going with that. I was going with something with that. But anyways, I know where I was going. That people, when they go into a building, be it mine or somewhere else, even though something's not happening, doesn't mean you don't have 35 spirits standing in the room with you, just looking at you and figuring out what they're going to do and how they're going to react with you. Because usually there are tons of spirits everywhere. Just because you may not get an immediate thing right in front of your face doesn't mean they're not all around you, because they are. They're always around.
Well, I mean, and Rolling Hills is big enough. I mean, when I came, we were there from like 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, so
long ass day.
Yeah, I mean, we were there. Is my husband ever? Oh, I don't know what that person. I think they think, but I don't know what they think. So somebody said, Darren, so he has 2 questions really. Question, what goes into buying an insane asylum? Which she took the word insane off of that. And just an asylum and you can answer that again if you'd like, but he also says, is there a spot in Rolling Hills that you don't want anyone to go into because it's so malevolent? And she had already said that there's really nothing there that's violent, but
nothing. Yeah. I mean, I'm insane. That's why I bought it. I mean, so that's your answer. And there isn't anything malevolent there. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, the way I look at it and the way I like to explain it to people, there are good spirits and bad spirits everywhere. There are good people and bad people everywhere. You go into Walmart and you're going to run into a jerk every now and then, or in your family at Thanksgiving dinner. You know, there are good people and bad people everywhere. And that's how it is here. Are there evil spirits? There's nothing evil here. They were someone's mother, father, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, grandparent. They're just people that are dead, you know, and they're funny as hell and they're annoying as hell. And they're, you know, that we have a guy that smells like C. diff. I call him Poo Guy. You don't want Poo Guy coming up and stand next to you because it's going to make you gag. It's Poo Guy. It doesn't mean that he's evil. The poor guy was sick in the hospital and he has C. diff. You know, I mean, it's just people. You know, I don't know. I look at that everywhere. I mean, demon is such a word that is overused, in my opinion. The only demon I know is my freaking ex-husband. So.
That's a good one. No, but that's true. You know, I also do believe that, you know, it's, you know, person's energy too. I mean, you know, you got to tell people when you're going in there, listen, you know, don't be, you know, if you're feeling negative or you're feeling this, you're feeling that, like, you need to just not come, you know, not come here. I mean, you know, I'm sure that have you ever had to kick anybody out, like, because people were being.
Couple times. I mean, I try to give people a chance, but if I have to tell you more than once, you're an adult. You're an adult. Don't do it. I mean, like, we have the wheelchair ramp. It is dangerous as hell. It's one of the reasons why the property closed. You can't use anything with wheels on the wheelchair ramp. It's literally, I don't know if you can see, it's pitched like this. It's straight down practically, and it goes down to a flight of stairs. Don't use anything with wheels on the wheelchair ramp. You're going to go flying down the ramp, down the flight of stairs, and you're going to be dead. I'm great with that because I'll have another spirit. Don't really care, but your family's going to be pissed that you're dead and not coming home. But so don't use it. I've had people try to use the wheelchair on the ramp, and that's it. You're gone because you're going to get hurt and you're going to blame me for it. I'm not going to put up with that. You're an adult. Don't act like a jerk. You know, basically, I don't want to kick people out. I want people to be in my building. I want them to have great experiences. I want to share this with you, but don't be a jerk, you know, be an adult. You know, it's like what's happening with all the riots and everything. People are, you know, complaining that the police are doing this, police are doing that. But if you don't cause trouble, the police aren't going to bother you.
Right.
You know, it's common sense.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing, and you know, it's a shame because, you know, and I hope you don't you know, I love the way you run it. I mean, you know, you go to some places and you pay money and it's like, oh, you can't go here, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, it's very, you know, but you're like, have fun, just be respectful. That's it. I mean, that's, you know. I think 9 out of 10 paranormal groups are respectful. You know what I mean? They realize what they're dealing with. They know what they're doing. You know what I mean? But you always get that one group that, you know, they're the enthusiasts who watch the TV shows and they see what, you know, and they think that that's what they're supposed to do. And, you know.
Well, it's really unfortunate, especially on public hunts, because on a public hunt, you know, we have a multitude of people. They've all paid the same amount of money. Don't screw up all these other people's night because you want to be a jerk. It's not fair to them. Everyone paid the same amount of money. Everyone deserves a really good experience. So if I have to say something, I approach it at that train of thought that I want everyone to have a good experience. No one deserves a better experience than the other or a worse experience than the other. So.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody agreed with you. Amen to the demons being overused for sure. My friend Al, who lives in Tennessee, and
hello.
And they're part of SRS Paranormal, and they are supposed to. This was one of the places that we had talked about coming. I was going to bring them to Rolling Hills because I said, you know, you guys would love it.
Coma.
Oh yeah, they would. They've investigated some pretty cool places, but you know, I mean, Rolling Hills is in its own category for sure.
So just before you're asking all those questions, a few nights ago, apparently, Yvette was telling me that there was a group in the building, and one of the ladies had walked out of the green room, and then she came right back, and right outside the green room by the elevator is a Christmas tree. And the woman came right back. She was, oh my God, I just saw a nurse. And she was all at Twitter saying, oh my God, I can't stay. I got to go. I'm busy. I got to go take care of a patient. And she took off. And she said she saw her and heard her. And, you know, I always take it with a grain of salt, blah, blah, blah. Don't you know, like a couple nights later, somebody was down the hallway and right down, like not even 30 feet, not even 20 feet from that Christmas tree, someone got a picture of a nurse standing in the hallway there.
Oh my gosh,
it's craziness.
That is awesome. That is awesome. No, and that's the thing. Like somebody asked here, what do you think all right, what's your favorite EVP you have heard from there, by you or from a team?
Oh, okay. This one's a long one, and I'll have to see if I can send it to you at some point, if I can find it in its entirety. This is quite a few years ago. I'd say about 4 or 5 years ago. It was after Thanksgiving, and a bunch of my volunteers and I all got together, and we're standing in the hallway, first floor. And I'm standing across from Roy's room. My friend Andrea was standing opposite me. I had headphones on because I'm recording. And then down in the solarium, the tuberculosis ward, there were 4 or 5 other people there. Tripod, camera, just sitting there. And all of a sudden, I'm trying to record audio, and everyone's just kind of doing their thing, but they're all in those places. And all of a sudden, I hear a guy go, Andrea, like that. And I thought it was her husband just being funny and calling her. And I said, oh, you're calling Andrea, I'm trying to record audio. He goes, what are you talking about? What are you saying? And I said, aren't you calling Andrea? They go, no, we didn't say anything. And then I get a woman that says, that was Austin. So some guy named Austin was calling Andrea. Continuing on, this is like a 5-minute EVP. So then a couple of the guys go down the hallway and they go, okay, go get the geophone, go get this, go get that. So 2 of the guys take off down the hallway to go get it. The third guy turns around to go back to the solarium, and he's a bigger guy. I mean, he's a big all over guy. And he sits down. The next thing I get on the EVP, no one heard it. Some woman goes, me love you a long time. And a guy goes, woo! Now, if we heard that, we would have busted a gut, right? So
Yeah.
hold on. Sorry. So we didn't hear that at all. So then, but this time, Andrea goes and sits down, and she goes to me, she goes, Sharon, I think your camera just moved on the tripod. And I said, did it move, or did you kick it? She goes, no, I think it moved. So the same guy goes to the woman, did you move it? And she goes, yes. And he goes, thank you. That's like a 5-minute conversation, EVP. They're all interacting with us. They're kidding around with us. It's crazy.
Wow.
That was my favorite. My favorite.
Oh my gosh, if you could ever find that would be awesome. I would totally post that. Like,
it's insane. It's completely insane. And that's what's really funny. Last September, actually, around this time, we were doing some work in the building and upgrading some of the emergency exit lights and stuff like that. So we were down in the laundry room with little Jack, and one of the guys was in there, and I had a recorder, and he's talking to little Jack. I said, hi, little Jack, can you say boo to me? Boo. That's his thing to me. Every October, little Jack goes boo to me. Even if it's through a sparrow box or on a recorder, he'll just say boo to me. He's a cute little kid. I love that kind of stuff. People want to hear all the doom and gloom and scary shit. I'd rather have a 5-minute funny EVP like that, knowing that they're interacting with me and they're there and they're present and they're aware and cognizant, than some random guy who's got Tourette's like me. No, I don't have Tourette's, but I swear a lot. But.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I would like that stuff. I've never gotten like a full blown conversation like that, Rich, my friend Rich here says, got one of my favorite pieces of photo evidence ever there. Angel took an IR picture from the special procedures room down the hallway, and nothing special. I took full spectrum seconds and captured someone being pushed in a wheelchair.
Nice.
Yeah. I would love to see that. That's awesome.
Crazy stuff. Somebody last October, I mean, we get a lot of pictures, but last October, somebody got a really good picture of Cecil, who is the first private owner, standing up in the the infirmary, and he's coming out from around a corner. You can see his black pants, his white shirt, dress shirt, tie, and his glasses on his face. It's like he's just standing there. Great photo.
Wow, you must have. Crazy. What do you do with the photos? Now, the people send you photos. You just do you save them? Do you put them in something so you can display some of them for when people are there? Or
I am so bad. I'm working. It's again being one man show. I'm not doing what I should do. I'm trying to add it to a video to put up in the building so people can watch it. I haven't been doing what I should do. It's not public as much as I should. I try to post them on Facebook when I can. But yeah, I'm kind of like behind on stuff.
Hey,
sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. I mean, here's a good question, because it sounds like it's just, he says, do you get more photo evidence or EVP evidence sent to you? I mean, like, when I was there, I think I experienced everything that you can experience paranormal. I saw stuff, I felt stuff, I got EVPs, pictures, like, I mean, I got, oops, sorry. Sorry, Megan, I didn't mean to do that. I hit that by accident. But, the creepiest, and I say creepy only because it's, I don't know, like little
Creepy in
kids.
there. Yeah.
It's like little kids. It's like, and it's London Bridge. And I'm like, what? I was like, I remember when I first heard that, I emailed you or messaged you, and I was like, Sharon, was anybody singing London Bridge? Like, because you don't know, you know what I mean? And there was a huge email string with everybody that was there. I'm like, was anyone singing London Bridge? Did anybody else hear this? Nobody else heard it. Nobody was singing it. And all you hear in the background of my recorder is like, London Bridge is falling. Like all these, and I'm like, oh, look, I'm getting chills thinking about it right now.
This is fun. They love to sing. And we'll send people down the laundry room and have them sing songs and leave off the last chorus and wait 10, 15 seconds and do it a couple times. And one of the kids always picks up singing the rest of the song. It's really, it's remarkable. I joke about it and I'm lighthearted about the whole situation because I've been here for so long. But overall, as a paranormal location, it really is remarkable. It is remarkable. I've been around the country. I've been all over places in, California, and I've been to Colorado and all over New England and Waverly and Trans-Allegheny and, Bonnie Mac. I've been to a lot of these places, and not to be biased because I am obviously, but truth be told, it really is nonstop. It's nonstop, constant, and it's pretty remarkable, the caliber of the evidence.
There's a reason that you, and I'm going to say picked, but you were picked to own Rolling Hills. You know what I mean?
I think
there's a reason. And like I said, you don't have to answer this. Somebody asked, how much did it cost you? And I know it was an auction. Like, you can keep that private if you want.
I find that a very rude question. I would never ask anyone how much money in your bank account or your 401k or what you paid for your house. So I find that a rude question. I refuse to answer it.
Then that you have every right to. So what are how's October? October's coming up. Now I know given COVID. What are you guys allowed?
October's going well. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Do you have do you allow teens or people to come in every single night?
You know what I mean? We're busy right now. We've been busy straight through. Since we were allowed to open, we've been slammed. I've sold more private hunts probably in the last 30 days than I have in normally a year. We have something every single night. I think I have 3 days off in the whole month of September. October, I announced tickets September 7th on Monday at 1 a.m. And within 36 hours, I already sold 100 tickets.
That's awesome.
So we're slamming.
That's
Thank
awesome.
God, not grateful for everything because it's a long winter. October, we're open 7 days a week. Monday through Thursday, we're doing 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And it's limited amount of people. So, and those are $49. On Fridays, we start at 6 o'clock and we go every 3 hours. There's a break in between, you'll see on the website, there's a half hour in between or 45 minutes in between tickets. And they range on Fridays from $59 to $79. Saturdays, we start at 1:30 in the afternoon and go to 4 a.m. And again, they range from, I think, $59 to $89 or $69 to $89, something like that. And again, on Sunday, we start at 1:30 and go to midnight. So there's about 75 different options. And we'll sell out. We sell out every year, and we're certainly going to sell out this year because haunted houses, most of them in the area, aren't open. People are looking for something to do. So I don't do any privates in October. It's just public hunts, but we're limited this year, so groups are smaller overall amount. And on the weekends, we're having at least one, probably two psychic mediums available, either to go out with you or to have a reading for an additional charge. Plus our team, our different people that come and help Rolling Hills, some of the team members, they'll go out and they'll help people investigate, because we get primarily in October, 90% never been to Rolling Hills before. 75% of that never investigated anywhere in their life before. So we'll have people going out and helping to investigate. So it'll be a really good experience for people. Normally we put in 90 people every 3 hours. So we've pared it way down based upon Governor Cuomo's, ruling of how many percentage I can have. So it's way pared down.
So when you say, somebody asks, is it possible to do a weekend full? I guess to do like Saturday, like a weekend, I guess like a weekend, like do like Friday and Saturday, like, or do you?
Not in October. If you want to buy tickets for every single time slot, sure. But as far as a private, you have to buy all those time slots, even for a private. When a private is either a 4 hour or 8 hour, if you want to buy a whole entire weekend from me, I will give you a price. But you don't get an 8 hour private and get to stay there for 48 hours. No, it's my time and I have to hire other people to be there. So, but yeah, you can do that if you want to pay for it. Absolutely. But you can't sleep here because we're not a hotel. So legally you can't sleep here.
Right. Yeah. You'd have to get a room. I mean, the place is big enough.
But legally I can't.
Right. And I mean, as much as I would want to sleep there, I wouldn't want to sleep there. And not because
you're going to miss all the evidence if you're sleeping. Who wants to sleep?
Yeah, no, I was awake the entire, like, I thought I was like, man, by 4 in the morning, I'm going to be exhausted. No, I was ready to keep going. I'm telling you, that's like the energy. The energy.
Goes by in a blink. Yeah, goes by in a blink. So come winter, I mean, I'm going to be booking all the way through November. This year, come December, January, February, it's going to be private hunts only. It's very, very cold in the building, like 20 degrees, 15 degrees, but I'm only going to be doing privates. I'm not going to be open for public hunts. So if you're going to want to do something, it'd be limited to 4 hours max. No debate on that, because you basically, if I took your money for 8 hours, you're going to be leaving after 3.5, and I'm taking your money for no reason. So I'm not going to do that. So it's literally 4 hours at the max, and we'll do private hunts in the winter. But you have to contact me for that.
Okay.
So.
Somebody else is asking, when do you start booking for next year?
Probably in December. Not until December. I got to get through this crazy next, 6-8 weeks. So.
Yeah. And I'm so happy to hear that you're doing, and that's true. I mean, I go to, the month of October is my favorite. Halloween is by far my favorite holiday. October is my favorite month, aside from summer, but I love October, and every year for the last like 10, 15 years, I've been going to Eastern State for their haunted attraction. Right. And heartbroken, they're not having it this year, So it's a good thing that you're open. How many people can you have? Like, what's the limit on groups and stuff? Like, how many people can you have?
It's based upon my overall capacity limit that I could have normally. Even on that, I usually go way under in October. So I'm going under my normal, what I consider my normal, but it isn't really my legal. My legal is much bigger. My capacity for October based upon what's going on is 40 people, which is nothing. It's 60,000 square feet. So each person is getting approximately 1,200 square feet per person. You're getting a house, basically, a small house. So you get a lot of elbow room. So
yeah, I mean,
you have free reign.
Yeah, free reign. And I'm telling you right now, like, the place is so humongous that, I mean, you could literally get lost. You could get lost. I mean,
yeah, there's 3 floors on one side, 4 floors on the other, the tunnel, the laundry room. So there's 3 buildings all connected. There's plenty of space. 40 people's nothing. We're very strict. You have to wear the mask. There's hand sanitizer stations on every floor, 6 feet distancing. In the green room and in the cafe when you're filling out the paperwork, we have procedures in place for that. There's no outside food or beverage. I can't serve any hot coffee or tea anymore because it was all self-serve. You can't do that because people can't be touching stuff. We do have, sodas and waters and prepackaged snacks to buy. Just they're like $2 a piece. It's just so people don't feel like they can't bring anything in. At least there's something to munch on. But we're very, following all the guidelines. We have a whole list of what we're disinfecting in between things. So I just literally spent, you probably saw on Facebook, it was $190 on 8 cans of Lysol spray on Amazon. So, I mean, I'm doing my part. we're going to be like spraying everything, and cleaning everything. Yeah. So.
Well, so just before we go, because we only have an hour, unfortunately.
Don't pass.
Yeah. Just your website where people can go to look up and get in contact with you, and this and that. So.
Sure. It's rollinghillsasylum.com is the website. You can click under Get Started. I think there's a October link, or you can go right under Come to an Event to launch the calendars. I'm on Facebook under the official Rolling Hills Asylum Facebook page. I don't do much on Twitter and Instagram. I really need to do better at that, but we do have Twitter and Instagram pages. I'm on Facebook, obviously, everywhere. But yeah, just hit us up. We are booking private hunts through November. Mainly Sunday through Thursdays. I have no Saturdays left at all. I have a couple Fridays maybe, but mainly it's Sunday through Thursday. But they're really cheap. For 8 hours, it's $675.
That's the thing. You're making it reasonable,
Yeah. Sundays are a little bit more, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in November, $675 for up to 10 people. So it's really pretty cheap. So as long as you're not in do not travel to New York list, come on down. Come see us. So
yeah, well, we're fortunately we're allowed to travel there.
I know. You should plan it coming before it gets winter.
I know. I should. I do need to get out there. Oh my gosh, that really was like an epic. It was just an epic night for me. Like hands down, I'll never forget it. It really was.
Thank you. It's pretty phenomenal. Some of the stuff that just happens, I just sit there and I'm like, oh my God. Do I have time for one more story or no?
Yeah. And listen, do you run cameras though, like inside the building, like just to like maybe catch stuff or whatever?
I have wired cameras, but thank God, after 10 years, they're running high-speed fiber optics down the road. It's amazing. Okay. I cannot wait for them to be up and running, because then it's going to be everywhere, and then we'll have live stuff, and you can log in. It'll be 24/7.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I mean, I've been running very antiquated, and it's because I live in the middle of nowhere. So I'm so grateful that hopefully by the beginning of the year, things will start being in the 21st century. So, and then people can log on. But yeah. But do I have time for a story or no story?
Yeah. Well, quick. Yes. Quick.
Okay. So real quick, we had a medium out. Her name was Lorna Reynolds. She gave all these people these readings. This one group went downstairs to the barbershop. They're filming in UV. Guy sitting in the barbershop chair. Literally, this orb comes flying down the ceiling in front of him in the shape of an infinity symbol. I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. Literally, like an infinity symbol. I can send you a link to it. So they come back upstairs. They're showing me the video. Oh my God, oh my God. Lorna, the medium, comes in, and she goes, what are you looking at? And I told her, and she starts laughing. She goes, did I show you my business card? Her business card she whipped out of her pocket was an infinity symbol. And every single person in the barbershop room had just had a reading from her, and they all had her card in their pockets when that symbol came down.
Wow.
Can't make that up. I'll send you the link to it. It's crazy. And they named their team Infinity Paranormal since that point.
Well, so. That's awesome. That's a great story. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. You can post it. It's a fantastic video.
Yeah, no, I would love to. And any of those, if you find that AVP and the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for taking time out and joining us, and telling us about your wonderful, wonderful place, Rolling Hills Asylum in East Bethany, New York. If you guys haven't been there, make sure you check it out. If you are looking for activity, give yourself some time to get out there and investigate the property. You will not be disappointed, for
Day
sure.
or night, it really is. I'm very fortunate that they're so active, and it's really fun. And I appreciate you having me on, and thank you everyone for coming on and asking questions and all that kind of good stuff. I appreciate the support. It's been a crazy year as is for everybody, and it's been scary, and thank God we're into the fall and it seems to be going well. Please wear your masks. I mean, I don't necessarily always believe that I should be wearing it, but I wear it. I do my part. I do it in the building. I do it out in public. Let's not shut down again. We all need to stay open. We don't want to let our restaurants to and get closed down, our gyms and everything. So let's support everybody so we can all stay in business and take some pressure off for you being a nurse. So let's do it. Let's just get through it. Let's just get through it.
Absolutely. Amen to that, sister. I'm all about it. I love you. And I can't wait to come up and see you. I can't wait to come up and see you again. And, you know, I'm telling you, if you give me some time, if you're ever in a bind, I will help you. I promise. So if you ever need help, let me know. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And thank you. And we'll be back next week. See you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.